Hi everyone, I'm Kelsey Laidlaw, Community Events Coordinator with HSC. I hope you've been getting a lot out of conference so far. Don't forget to check out our social media channels and like and comment on our conference updates, or maybe even post one of your own about how you're attending HDCon 21. I'm really excited to introduce our next speaker to you today. Her session is something a little different, a little fun, a little bit of self-care. Today, Ronna Schneberger is going to be talking to us about forest therapy. Ronna has been a professional award-winning naturalist, interpreter, and hiking guide in Banff National Park for 25 years. In 2016, she became a forest therapy guide and trainer, one of the first in Canada. Today, she trains forest therapy guides around the world. As an executive coach, Ronna works with leaders, professionals, and executives from all over the world, using nature as the teacher to create powerful reflections and transformation. Her unique nature prescriptions use proven techniques to help people reset their mind and nervous system so they can reclaim calm and clarity. I don't know about all of you, but that sounds absolutely perfect to me. Ronna, we're ready for you.
Thank you, Kelsey. Well, thanks everyone. I want to thank the Huntington Society for inviting me here with you today. And I'm just going to give you a few tips on how you can use nature, spend time in nature and forests as a way to help you stay grounded and calm during these stressful times or other stressful times. I'm sure you've been reading some of the research and the articles that are coming out lately about forest therapy or forest bathing or Shinrin-yoku, all these terms. And you're just going to get a little tiny taste of that today. So I'm coming to you from Canmore, Alberta. I'm right next to Banff National Park. I'm in the ancestral territories of the Stoney Nakoda, the Ktunaxa, as well as the Métis people. And this particular practice of forest bathing and forest therapy, it originated in Japan. Now, I just want to acknowledge that all of our ancestors were connected to nature at some point, and for whatever reason, our lives have changed. And so this is just a way to bring that back in. So in Japan in the 1980s, they went through a health crisis. They went to more of a technological society. They were on their computers, they're on their phones, all these sort of things. And what they noticed is that stress, high anxiety, depression, suicide rates went up, autoimmune issues went through the roof. And they thought, oh my goodness, we need to do something to help our people. And what they decided to do was to just get them outside. It was kind of an intuitive thought. And they started getting people outside and it started to work. So they then decided to research this in earnest. And one of the research questions they asked was, what happens when people are exposed to trees? It turns out a whole lot of good things happen when people are exposed to trees. So through the course of the last 30, 40 years, they've come to understand that when we go outside, our stress hormone comes down, anxiety comes down, overwhelm comes down, our blood pressure, our heart rate, all of these come down. When we look at the sky and trees, like we look at green and blue, it helps take us from our stress side of our nervous system, which is your sympathetic nervous system, that's your fight or flight, and it helps move us over to the calm side of your nervous system, which is called your parasympathetic nervous system. So just to put this in context, when the pandemic hit last year at this time, all of our nervous systems were completely and utterly deregulated because of the stress of what was going on. So this is a normal reaction to stress. And what's really helpful is finding tools, putting tools in our toolkit to help us manage those stressful events so that we can be grounded and calm as we go through. It doesn't mean that stressful events aren't going to happen, because they are, but how do we stay grounded as we're moving through those? So by looking outside at the trees, at the sky, the other thing that research found is that when you listen to birds or a babbling creek or wind through the trees, that also helps reset your nervous system. They discovered that when we spend time outside and we just have light fascination, this is a term they use, and you just hear the wind, or you feel the air on your face, or you feel things, or you smell things. This helps reset your brain. So when we go into our fight or flight mode, we go into the back of our brain. We're in our survival brain. And we don't make the best decisions in that place. We tend to react. We're not coming as our best selves to anything because we're stressed. And so by having this light fascination in nature, it also helps us reset ourselves up into the front from your executive function where you make the decisions, you're creative, you're innovative, you have empathy, all of those higher level thinking that we have capacity when we're at another part of our brain. And this is kind of the fascinating thing. So when the Japanese coined the term, when they started sending people outside, they coined the term Shinrin-yoku, which means to bathe in the atmosphere of the forest. And where this term comes from is that they figured out that all these trees around us shower themselves in these organic chemical compounds called phytoncides. And these phytoncides are the way that the tree protects itself from fungal attacks, let's say. But as humans, we've evolved in the forest. And so we have a fascinating reaction. So when we go in the forest and we breathe them in and we get them on our skin, they go into our systems and they boost our natural killer cells, which is your cancer-fighting, tumor-fighting white blood cells. So just by breathing in these phytoncides, breathing in the wood oils of the forest helps you boost your immune system. That's pretty cool. So the way Shinrin-yoku translates into bathing in the atmosphere of the forest, or forest bathing. So you can wear your clothes when you go forest bathing. You don't have to strip down, although if you want to, you can, but that's not really necessary. And we're also bathing in our senses, because when we tune into our senses, that's when this recalibration starts to happen. And I've guided hundreds of people now on forest bathing walks, and I just find it so fascinating that our bodies are really designed to be outside, because our bodies automatically start to recalibrate ourselves back into our natural state of being, which is equanimity. We're not designed to be stressed, but we live in a stressful culture that is, 24/7, and we're on computers and stuff like that. But our nervous system and our brains, they haven't adapted to that. They're still kind of more like a second century biology going on here. So the great news is you don't have to be a meditator. You don't have to be good at any of that. But when you go outside and you just slow down a little bit, tune into your senses, your body, and the forest will do the rest, and they'll start to recalibrate you. So today, I just want to give you a little bit of a taste as to forest bathing. And this is a little practice that I do when I've got 15, 20 minutes and I head out my back door here and I just go into the woods, which is close to where I live. And this is what I do. So I'm going to share my screen and just give me a second here. And I'm going to invite you comfortable. So if you can, maybe scooch up by a window or open the window. If you have any objects like pine cones or stones or natural items that you could touch, bring those close. So I'm just going to give you a minute here just to reorient yourself. Feel free to, you can look at this screen or you can look out the window. If you don't have a window, feel free to look at my screen. All right, I'm going to get started. And so wherever you are, I just invite you to take a minute and notice where you are. Even though you've been sitting here all day, but just really take a minute. And as you notice where you are, I invite you to close your eyes or look down, whatever's most comfortable for you. And become aware of your breath. Just notice the rise and fall of your inhalations and exhalations. Notice the rib cage as it expands on the inhalation and how it contracts on the exhalation. And just notice how it feels to be in your body right now, without any judgment. Just noticing. Even become aware of the temperature of the air as it enters your nose and the temperature of the air as it exits your nose. Become aware of the sensation of the surface that is supporting you. Perhaps bring awareness to your feet, your legs, and your seat. Perhaps even your back. And notice the sensation of your skin. How does the skin that's exposed feel? How does the skin that's covered and clothed, how does it feel? What is the sensation of the skin that is clothed? And I invite you to take the fingers of one hand and bring them to the tops of the fingers of the other hand and just slowly slide your hands down, your fingers down one hand, all the way down to the palm and then to the other one. Noticing the sensation. And if you have a plant or a pine cone or stones or something, some natural objects close, I invite you just to touch them. If you don't, feel free to just touch your pants or your hair with exquisite attention as to how it feels as your fingertips roll over it. Noticing the textures, the temperature. I just invite you to put your hands down whenever you want and become aware of what you hear all around you. Can you hear the human sounds and the nature sounds, maybe even some silence? Can you hear it all without any judgment? What are the furthest sounds you can hear in all directions? What are the closest sounds you can hear? Can you make a sound that's only audible to you to join in with the soundscape of wherever you are? And start to notice what you smell in the space that you're in. Perhaps lift your nose a little bit and move your head side to side. I wonder if there's subtleties to the smells in your space, the scents. And just notice something, that as you breathe out, these plants or trees, if you're outside, are breathing in. And as they breathe out, you breathe in. I wonder how it feels to breathe in relationship to these beings, these plant beings, these tree beings that are around you. I invite you to open your mouth and let the air roll over your tongue as you taste the air. Does it have a taste? Does it have a texture or a temperature? Close your mouth whenever you're ready. I invite you to bring your awareness into your heart space. Perhaps bring your hand over your heart or just tune into it. Noticing what's present there today with no judgment. And now take your awareness all the way around you and notice if there's a direction your body's drawn to, your heart is drawn to. You could stand up and turn, or you could just stay seated and tune into the space in front of you, to your right, behind you, to your left, above or below. Noticing if there's a direction that your heart is pulled to. You don't need to know what the direction is. You're just feeling for the pull. And once you've found that direction, just tune in and ask, I wonder what it is that's pulling at my heartstrings in this direction. Is there something close or far away? Maybe you don't know, and that's okay. In a moment, I'm going to invite you to open your eyes, but don't do so just yet, please. When I do, I'm going to invite you to take a minute and just really see what's in front of you. The light, the textures, the colors, to see what's close, what's far away, but to really see, to take a minute and really see. I invite you to open your eyes whenever you're ready. And allow all of your senses to blossom fully into your awareness. And notice if there's one that brings you pleasure. It just feels really good in your body right now. I invite you to sit with it for another moment. And as you're sitting with that sense, I invite you to engage your sight once more and just notice what's moving in your space. Perhaps look out the window, see if anything's moving. And if something's moving, just watch If it doesn't seem like anything's moving, perhaps just watch, slow down and watch even closer for just the next minute. Just noticing what or who is moving in your space with no judgment. Soft gaze. And become aware of the effects of this mini taste of forest bathing, of tuning into your senses. What's the effects on your body and your mind right now? Just tune in and just notice. I'm going to invite you. One of the things we do when we're doing forest therapy is we start with this. We start with a few minutes of tuning into our senses. And then we invite people to walk slowly and notice what's moving. And as simple as these sound, they have profound effects on your body and your brain. I invite you to notice what's present in you right now. What's alive in you right now. And I'm going to invite you, if you want, to put in the chat in 1 to 3 words, what are you noticing? And I'm seeing comments like the power of nature. I'm seeing comments like the nature is so healing. It's one of the best healings. Sense of calm. I feel the stress leaving my body when I go out camping. What are you noticing? Peace. Peace. Being replenished. So when you take the time, even just 15 to 20 minutes. I recently heard a doctor talk about forest bathing in this way, and they said 5 minutes will help your mental health, but if you can go out for 15 minutes a day, the 20-minute mark, that's the magic number. Is if you can go out and just go for a walk, even if you even invited you to do some of your favorite things for 20 minutes, that will significantly help your mental health. I would add that when you slow down just a little bit to watch the leaves or water or any of that, when you slow down just a little bit, your system can reset itself. It can recalibrate itself. We're going so fast because we all are on these things 24/7 that our system doesn't have a chance to relax anymore. And if you're a busy person, sometimes meditation seems a little bit out of reach. But if you go and just slow down a little bit in nature, this will do the trick. Go sit on a park bench. You don't have to go anywhere to do this. So here's your prescription. Here's your invitation. is to go out in, it can be your backyard, it can be your balcony. You don't have to go into any wilderness. You can just go into your yard, into a local park, slow down a little bit, take a few minutes to tune into your senses and just notice what's moving for 20 minutes. That's your invitation. That's your prescription, which will make a ton of difference. I know that's what got me through this whole pandemic, keeping my feet on the ground. And when they weren't on the ground, I went for a walk. So I'm just going to read a couple more things in the chat here. There's some more comments about being relaxed. Slow living is key. Somebody here is saying we can all afford 20-minute investment into yourself for your mental health. Yeah, it's cheaper than drugs, that's for sure. And therapy. Yeah. So there you go. That's the research. That's the research of spending time in nature. If you have a forest therapy guide in your area, by all means go out with them, because going out with them for a 2 or 3 hour session will give you a much deeper reset, especially if you're already exhausted. The 20 minutes is kind of an upkeep, but if you're toast, you're burnt out, find a forest therapy guide in your area. I'm with the Association of Nature and Forest Therapy. We have guides all over Canada and the world, actually. And a lot of guides are doing this digitally, like over on Zoom. We talk you through an experience in your yard or nature. Quiet Parks has a bunch of remotely led forest therapy walks, but I bet you there's a handful of guides who are leading things in your own communities. And COVID safe, of course. It's very easy to distance with forest therapy because we give you an invitation. We invite you to do a sensorial invitation. Then we send you off to go do that for 10 or 15 minutes, and then we invite you back. So it's as simple as that. But I'm going to leave it there. Thank you so much once again for inviting me. I hope this was helpful, and be well. So thank you.
Thank you so much, Ronna, for that inspiring and sustaining session. I know that my interactions with nature are going to be a little bit different now. I'm going to be a little bit more tuned in, even when I'm just going out on my balcony. So everybody, we're going to transition now. We have a 10-minute break, and then come on back for the HD Buzz Q&A panel. I know you guys have lots of questions, so get them ready and put them in the chat, and they'll be sure to answer as many as possible. Bye for now.
Bye.